Is Lia okay? Jongho's ankle certainly isn't. But did Haewon take her joke a little too far? 50-50 get very mixed responses to their segment featured on Unanswered Questions, a wannabe Black Ocean for rain at KCon, and so much more today. Actually, I think those are all the subjects. I think I actually named them all. But as usual, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends. What was that little thing? And feel free to skip to the timestamps that interest you the most. Okay, so this literally just popped up for me, but it says Girls' Generation Sooyoung donates 300 million Korean won, which is equivalent to 223,975 US dollars to organization researching a cure for blindness. It seems that her father has retinitis pigmentosa, a genetic eye disorder that eventually causes vision loss as cells in the retina break down slowly over time. So hence the reason why she's taken an interest in this. So that's just something I wanted to highlight. So when it comes time to eating the rich, we'll let her slide. But on that note, name the idols down below who you would eat if it came to eating the rich. And who you would let slide. I know it's hard as a K-pop stan. You'd be like, my idols are super humble. Listen, some of them have $100,000 beds, $80 million watches. I don't even know. They could be nice as hell, but when it comes to time. So it seems that Lia from ITZY has been worrying fans at a recent fan sign, with the title of the article saying you can see that ITZY Lia was not feeling well. So there's a little compilation of some videos of her. So I just finished watching the whole fan sign yesterday, and Lia really did her best to make it fun and enjoyable for Mitzi, because throughout the event Lia was not feeling well at all. So we see her stretching her neck, and she just I get the feeling. Some people are saying she has a herniated disc, or like they're diagnosing a specific thing. I don't know if that was confirmed anywhere, but I'll be honest, if I was an idol, if I just had to stand there and do nothing for any amount of time, I wouldn't be able to, because even standing in line, I'm like moving my neck, like it's just, it's just an uncomfortable feeling. But all sources point to that she wasn't feeling well, that she probably is indeed not a little baby like me, because there were also pictures uploaded after the fan sign with her missing and the members putting a little strawberry emoji in place of her. So the comments read, that's your typical herniated neck disc. I understand that pain way too well. There are a lot of female idols with herniated neck discs. I feel like it's not necessarily because of their dances. Isn't she just tired because of their intense schedule? My boss also got a herniated neck disc because of his schedule. Neck pain already gives you a hard time, so imagine a herniated neck disc. Oh my god, it seems painful. It's also hard to recover from. She needs proper treatment. Wow, I feel bad for her. It looks so painful. Do they even care for her body? I think that was the wrong type of 6-6. As of now, there's no official statement from JYP, but I definitely hope she feels better. On to Jongho from ATEEZ, who was at KCon and had to be flown back to Korea because of his ankle pain. KQ released an official statement basically saying, "It is with utmost regret that we are sharing some updates regarding Jongho's health to the fans who have unconditionally supported ATEEZ. Jongho was diagnosed with meniscus rupture after his last ankle injury, but because of his strong will to be on stage, he focused on conservative treatment and recovery, including injections that helped relieve pain and boost regenerative qualities. However, after that day's event, he was experiencing extreme pain in his ankle, so the company came to the decision to halt his activities immediately and send him back to Korea to get treatment for this. As artist health is a top priority, we ask for your kind understanding. Updates and additional information will be given following the examination results. Of course, we apologize for any inconvenience caused by the sudden news, and we will do our best to ensure Jongho's speedy recovery." So it's definitely sad because his ankle has caused him problems a few times now. Is there like a history we can find of Jongho's ankle injury? Ankle injuries. Synopsis. In 2019, he had an ankle injury as well. Then in 2020 as well, I remember there being 2 instances. So his poor ankle. I feel like if you sprain your ankle once, it's just like, it keep on happening. I can't imagine, like, you're still having to dance knowing that your ankle is weak, knowing that you could potentially make it worse. And I had this thought, and please don't crucify me for it, because it is a genuine question. Obviously, dancing is a huge part of K-pop. And you know, if we compare it to certain athletes who get career-ending injuries, they inevitably have to stop doing the sport that they love. But because K-pop is not just about dancing, it's also about personality, it's also about singing, it's an all-encompassing thing, right? I really wondered, you know, if someone was unable to dance ever again, what would happen to that member within the group? Do you think the company would kick them out of the group? Do you think they could maintain their status within the group? But how does that work with performances? I don't think there has ever been an instance in K-pop where someone just couldn't dance anymore, like forever. I mean, of course, if you have any examples, let me know, but it just really made me wonder, since it's not just about dancing, right? But performances are still a pretty big part of that. So it made me wonder, what do you think a company would do if an idol could just not dance anymore? Because it's totally different from, say, having a scandal. So let me know your thoughts about that. Of course, we wish Jongho a very speedy recovery, and we hope that his pesky little ankle stops causing him problems. You know, I've heard through the grapevine that there are some fans who kind of joke that Jongho is actually an old man. I've heard a particular theory that he's actually 38. Now, I'm not going to divulge who said he's 38 unless you agree and think it's funny, then it was me in my group chat. And while we're here, Seonghwa too. There's no way they were born in 1998 and 2000, just saying. Factually, allegedly. But you know, the old man jokes were supposed to be for fun. I didn't think it would manifest into this. But you know what? Maybe it is our fault actually for putting that into the universe. And for that, I feel like we should provide KQ all of our emails in the event that they'd like to take legal action. Spiritual defamation? I don't know. So NMIXX Haewon went viral for a joke that she made, and I actually posted a short about it, and I think it got shadow banned. Either you guys do not give a crap about NMIXX. I don't know, the views were just abnormal on the short, and given the content, I wondered if it was because of something I said. SAR. We'll explain the situation as vaguely as possible. You can go watch the short if you want more context. But essentially, NMIXX were at a fan sign, and Haewon had a plushie. And of course, she was playing with the plushie before she realized that the tail looked like an eggplant. So she grabs the plushie by the tail, puts it in Sooyoung's face, and Lily, to her side, looks shocked at this. Sooyoung reacts in a very playful way, kind of play hitting her. And of course, this is caught on camera, and people are discussing it, with some people thinking that it's a very distasteful joke. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the picture out of context, I was like, what is going on? There's no way. No one is really denying what the joke was about. The vast majority of people, however, from what I've seen, are defending her really. I've seen a couple of people say like it's clearly distasteful. But as you can see, she's just grabbing the plushie's tail. Meanwhile, you guys are here creating delusions by yourselves. Aren't you even weirder? I mean, I don't know that I agree with like the whole delusions by yourselves, because I think it's really clear. Like, again, I was shocked seeing the image by itself out of context. I couldn't really believe it was real until I saw the context anyways. If this was a male idol, people would have just buried this down and gave them a pass. This is a part of the tail of the plushie, and she was just holding the tail. What's the issue here? It's not like she was making some weird movements with it. She was simply grabbing the tail. Just how twisted is your mind that you're trying to turn it into something weird? Again, I don't think there's any disputing the joke. My favorite, however, are these threats to sue. People like you making those rumors are really going to get sued. So do you really want to insist on sharing these around? This isn't just some simple hate comment, but you're trying to create a controversy to spread it to the media. You know how good they are at suing hate posts? And then someone literally, like, this is you. Anyways, I sent the PDF and sent it for a lawsuit email. K-pop stars are funny as hell sometimes. Like, I believe this, to be honest, because we see companies coming out all the time being like, we're actually suing everyone for defamation and hate comments and malicious comments. And that would be their right within the respective country they are in. It just baffles me if I say that I don't particularly love a song, and then I get emails about how I'm gonna get sued. So let me know what you thought of her joke before we get into the email that I received, which was totally from YouTube. This was after I made a review of what I thought of a TWICE song. Okay, keep that in mind. They have the headline YouTube trying to make it seem like YouTube was sending me this email. So, dear whoever is the receiver, I'm writing in regards to viewers' content published and uploaded by this account. I'm quite aware that you have a mass following on this social platform. It has come with great concern on how you, in particular, have been shading a particular group that goes by the name TWICE, and I would like to raise this concern in this particular manner. I would like to give you a warning that name-shaming a group and being biased towards a group is your liking. However, it gives others discomfort. I would like to tell you, if you have your own valid opinion, I would like to tell you to keep them to yourself and not share them on the internet, as your opinions tend to be received as harsh of backlash towards that particular group. Therefore, from onwards, please refrain from commenting groups that you do not show interest in and only comment just for mere viewership as well as attention. This will be served as a warning. Failure to do this will receive legal action via YouTube to shut your channel down or strike you. Thank you, and may you have a good day. The worst part is that they sent this from their school email. So there's a disclaimer at the bottom saying they the email account that this has been sent from belongs to a student of school name. So this person literally thought because I didn't like a Twice song, which I probably did because Alcohol Free was my top song of 2021, though it might have been signed to Stir the Fields, who knows, send me an email pretending to be YouTube, threatening to shut down my channel if I didn't stop expressing opinions towards Twice. You can't make this shit up. So next up, we have 50/50 on unanswered questions. So they were announced to be part of this show. Not necessarily that they themselves would be speaking out, because they are in the middle of a lawsuit right now, but the story in and of itself would be covered. And actually, the last we heard from 50/50 is that they had zero intention of making up with their company and going back to their company. And we kind of get a little bit of an idea why based on this show. However, the reception of this show have vastly different responses depending on who you ask. I read people in my comments being very supportive of 50/50. Meanwhile, K-netizens seem to not really buy this. I wasn't able to watch the show myself. I haven't been able to find it anywhere with English subtitles. So I did read a few articles and synopses, and made a little bit of a list of what I could find in terms of mistreatment. Trigger warning for weight-related stuff. So we had daily BMI checks. It seems that they were very, very strict with their weights. There's also too much pressure and regulations in regards to CCTV. So they were constantly being watched on cameras, which includes what they eat. And there was even an allegation that they were forced to throw away food that their parents gave them. This part in particular gained backlash as well because Dispatch came out and said it wasn't actually the CEO of Attract, but rather an employee of the Givers who forced them to give up food. But as far as everything I've read, the Givers and Attract were working together for a while. So I'm not really sure what the distinction means. Like, I'm not sure what the implication of the distinction is. But I do know that the Givers and Attract have a tumultuous history, and people think that the Givers is a separate entity that 50/50 are trying to sign with and all that jazz. But the distinction made by Dispatch is making people distrustful of what the family said on the episode. We also have unpaid royalties, pushing back a necessary surgery for one of the members in order for her to promote, with actually two members with health issues forced to promote. One of the criticisms is that they don't make an effort to distinguish whether or not these things are industry standard or whether they just happened to 50/50. Like, it's a unique experience to them. It's outside of the norms of industry standard. We already know that CEOs of companies, K-pop companies in general, are very strict with their idols' weights. So some people are bringing up the potential that we're not really learning anything new out of this, that we've known that these things happen forever. So if this is industry standard, which we do have a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that it is, unfortunately, it does bring up this big question of why CEOs get away with this stuff. And I would compare it to Olympic coaches. The coaches can be absolutely terrible. And yet, in being so terrible and doing that most inhumane things to some of these athletes, they can also brag about having coached the most gold medalists in the world. Do you know what I mean? Socially, we can look past the terrible behavior if it brings us gold. If the end result brings us something amazing, everyone looks past what the company does. Everyone. Because if you actually cared, it'd be very likely that you would stop supporting any of these groups. Another criticism up in the air is that it seems more of an emotional telling of the story rather than based on facts. For example, Korean viewers say unanswered questions covering 50/50 focus too much on emotional aspects. Some of the reactions, I don't know why they even made this episode if they were going to focus on people's emotional complaints. I think the reason the members suddenly uploaded the handwritten letters was that they all knew it was going to be used in favor in time for this episode. This was worse than YouTube. You can die by giving a respirator to someone going through a panic attack. Are these parents even telling the truth? I also hate how this show mentioned BTS during the episode. Why? That was another backlash that I saw because they also mentioned New Jeans, Blackpink, kind of comparing the success of these groups to 50/50's success, which was very much not anticipated, right? No one really anticipated them to go viral to the extent that they did. You know, saying other companies try really hard to have their groups go viral and 50/50 kind of just walked in and it happened. So we're not going to get too much into that because I've gotten canceled for alluding to some of the things written in the... It's not that I think inherently some of the things that were said are super, super problematic. I think there are comparisons being made through any other lens but a K-pop lens. If you read some of the statements made, you're just like, okay, whatever, it's a comparison. Through a K-pop lens, however, as someone who's seen some shit, been through some shit, canceled for the same exact shit, these are absolutely comparisons and things that should absolutely never be said, and you cannot say those things. I mean, let's look into it. Why not? Unanswered questions episode under massive fire for comparing 50/50 to BTS, Blackpink, and New Jeans. So we dragged other artists into this picture and people are not happy about that. One interview included in the episode with Molly Raycraft pitched 50/50 against New Jeans, commenting on how the latter isn't well known in England. The group name aired censored, but it was not difficult for the viewers to recognize. I know NewJeans is really popular in South Korea, but they've had very little traction in the UK, which might sound really astounding to the Korean audience. So it's actually very difficult to reach into the UK market and the European market, which is a reflection of just how hard it's been for 50/50 to do and the achievement that they've been able to. So in terms of what she said, is it offensive? To K-pop stans, of course, it's the worst thing you could ever possibly say. I understand the mind of a K-pop stan better than anyone else. I used to be a toxic K-pop stan, so I understand for sure. You know, I too cannot fathom living in a world where NewJeans isn't absolutely killing it in every single country ever. No, but I've totally said similar things. Jeff Benjamin got brought into this too. So he was quoted as saying management companies like SMYG, Hybe, and JYP spend so long working towards establishing solid partnerships with American labels. But 50/50 came out of nowhere, breaking the norm of how international girl groups are made. You know what? I actually did get canceled for saying something similar, except for me, I didn't include Hybe. I was like, SM, YG, and JYP have spent so long trying to break it in America, make it big in America. But then we have groups like BTS who come out of nowhere and they just do it so organically. But in my mind, you had the big three doing the most for so many years, and then BTS just comes and it just clicks with everyone all of a sudden. Am I digging myself a hole? Am I gonna be on a Koreaboo article with my face like that? I got canceled for saying that because I also made a joke about it and nobody got the joke. The joke was obviously second gen attempted to do it first, but in failing, they paved the keep on digging, Angelina. I was literally spread across Twitter being called xenophobic for what I said. So no comment, actually. At another point in the episode, Blackpink and their collaborative track with Lady Gaga called Sour Candy were compared side by side. That is crossing the line. These are the comments that were said in relation to this. So how many K-pop idol groups did this episode have to disrespect to defend 50/50? This is madness. This was quite the shit show of an episode. Who even are the people being interviewed? I can't believe the comparisons made it on air. Huh, what is this? Some sort of sick prank? We don't care what people think. 50/50 isn't going to survive this unanswered questions episode, LMAO. No one is going to side with them, not after what was said and done in this episode. Not that I watched the episode, but it shouldn't have focused on comparing who's more popular in what parts of the world. It should have focused on the details behind the legal dispute. Isn't that what Unanswered Questions does as a program? At least the editing team should have known better than to include the parts mentioning other K-pop groups. So I totally get where people are coming. It's like we wanted facts out of this, but really we got more of an emotional telling. Now, I haven't seen the episode myself, so I can't really comment on it. However, I just also think that logically, if you're in the midst of a lawsuit, you can't talk about it. So 50/50 themselves can't come out here and say anything. They can't say anything. I mean, obviously they can say anything they want. They shouldn't though. So SM has a new boy group called Riize. And normally, you know, I'm not the biggest boy group fan. However, one of the members really stood out to me because every time I would see his picture in like a corner, I was like, oh, Songhwa? And then I would get a better look and I'm like, that's not Songhwa. Just in the corner of your eye. Just in the corner of your eye if you saw this photo. So this is the article that I kept seeing at the corner of my eye and I kept thinking it was Songhwa, but upon further inspection, of course, it's not, right? And it's funny because it must be that specific angle because far here, he does not give me Songhwa vibes at all. Even getting up close and personal. Maybe it's the chin. I think it's the chin. Songhwa has a very pointy chin. But I digress. It seems I'm not the only one who thinks he kind of reminds me of Songhwa. This tweet was sent to me that he looks apparently like Songhwa from ATEEZ, Jung from ZB1, and Minji from NewJeans all at once. I don't really see it, but oh, then the airport pictures came out. Again, definitely doesn't look like Songhwa at all. It must be just a specific angle. I think it's really just the chin and the cupid's bow paired with the fact that he has black hair. He doesn't even look like himself. He looks like two different. That is a different person than that. That is not the same person. Am I having face blindness? Anyways, I heard netizens were like saying that their hairstyles are outdated. I mean, obviously they're old. At the same time, guys, we really have never seen Songhwa and Wonbin in the same room at the same time. It also comes with the issue that we can't really fact check Songhwa's high school pictures because again, some fans, I'm not going to disclose which ones, think that him and Jongho are older than they say. So the fans just kind of have a feeling that the high school pictures would be in black and white. You know what I mean? I don't know. They just seem fishy to me. So lastly, let's talk about Rain at KCon. So I saw that he had an interesting reaction from fans, with some people turning off their light sticks, some people not singing at all. You know, the difference between the crowd when he was there and the difference with, like, say, ZB1. And my first reaction was that it's just, you know, it's just a generational difference. Of course, we all know who Rain is, creator of MBLAQ and Cypher. But it seems that was actually the downfall. Like, that's what people were mad at him about. And I was really shocked because I'm like, okay, obviously, like, even if I went and saw went to KCon to see Rain, I wouldn't know any of his songs. Of course, Rainism and 나는 어떻게 제발 제발. I literally sound like him, don't I? I would know 2 songs, like, respectfully. I've literally bought his albums in the past. I bought Rainism. I bought Back to Basics. Did I listen to them? No. I'll be honest. I bought them because his face tickled my fancy. It was that album that you open up and, like, it was like a 3D image and it was just him in his abs and different poses. And the fake eyelashes and long hair was just my jam. So I thought it was just a generational difference. No, fair enough. However, it seems people were actually, like, half trying to boycott this. Let's take a look at this. So here's the first tweet. I'm crying. It was so quiet for Rain Man. Fair enough, we don't want to get a copyright claim. So then here's a comparison. The arena when ZB1 was on stage, not even performing, versus Rain performing. Why is he always shirtless? It was a second gen thing you wouldn't understand. Is Rain second gen? It was still a second gen thing whether you like it or not. So we clearly see the difference. However, there was this tweet that gained traction. So to everyone at KCon, it doesn't matter who you stand, it doesn't matter who you're there to support. When Rain is on stage, light stick off, Black Ocean, he ruined the dreams of these boys and he will know that's not okay. So it's really about MBLAQ and Cypher. I mentioned MBLAQ because, of course, we all loved MBLAQ, didn't we? Nobody, you don't even know who that is. It's fine. Music Boys Live in absolute quality. But it seems he doesn't have the best track record, Rain himself, of managing these boy groups, and people are not happy about it. Cypher just lost, like, what, 4 members? 3 members? Most of the members. So it seems like some people were on board, some people weren't on board. Honestly, if I hadn't seen this again, I would have just assumed that it was a generational difference. Because even as a second gen stan, had I been there, again, I only know 2 Rain songs. Listen, some 4th and 5th gen stans don't even know who 21 is. Can you imagine being like that? Again, I think we're underestimating how shitty K-pop CEOs in general are. I mean, if YG himself performed at KCon, do you think we would maintain the same energy? Or is it because Baby Monster is about to debut, we're just gonna look past everything? So many CEOs have ruined the dreams of their artists. So I'm curious. Obviously, there's differences, so let me know what you think about that. That is basically it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As for me, I'm gonna get going, but first, a huge shout out to my patrons who help support this channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. As always, let me know what you think of these subjects in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!